Hey, welcome to AutoTechWorld Automotive How-Tos. In this video, I'll show you how to replace the front wheel bearing on a 2006 Volkswagen Jetta. I'll also show you how you can diagnose a bad bearing. You probably noticed your bearing went bad because you got a growling noise while going down the highway. That's the first time you could try to listen from what side the noise is coming from. If you steer back and forth, sound should change. I made this animation to hopefully explain it a little better, how to distinguish what bearing the noise is coming from. Let's say it is the driver's side wheel bearing that is worn, which it is on this Jetta. You see how the vehicle is leaning toward the right side and the left side goes up? That means all the weight is on the passenger side and no weight is on the worn bearing. But as you turn right, the weight will transfer to the driver's side and putting all the weight on the bad bearing. All that weight can cause the bearing to be extra loud, and as soon as you steer back to the other side again, the weight will transfer back to the passenger side and leave the bad bearing without any weight on it, and it will be quiet. So this is what it would look like. Or if you are in the car, it will look like this. If you can't tell by that, you can lift up the car and just feel for play in the wheel bearing. You just grab the top and bottom on the tire and feel for movement. You can clearly see the axle move in the knuckle in this Jetta, but it is not always the case that you can see the axle move like that. Sometimes you won't actually see the movement and you just got to go by the little bit of play that you can feel. Be sure though that it is not the lower ball joint or tie rod that you feel. Just look at them and make sure they are tight. If you want to see me replace the rear wheel bearing on this Jetta, I'll have a link in the description. This special edition Jetta has these special edition rims where I just use a 90-degree angle pick to pull off the center cap. The wheel bolt size on the VWs is usually 17mm, and that combined with my half-inch impact makes it a breeze to take off the wheel bolts. I'm always using this wheel hanger stud when working on German cars. That way I don't have to be afraid of the wheel falling on my toes. All the tools I'm using in this video are in the description, by the way, in case you're interested. If your wheel is stuck to the hub like this one is, feel free to hit the tire, not the rim, with a hammer that may loosen it. Or use a rubber hammer to hit the inside of the rim from underneath the car. With the wheel removed, remove the 27mm axle bolt. Then, remove the T30 Torx head screw that holds the brake rotor to the hub. I like to use an impact driver. It turns as you hit it with a hammer. So as a result, it will push the driver into the bolt while turning and keeping the bolt from rounding. By the way, at the end of the video, I'll show you all the tools that I use for this repair, so stay tuned. One tap with the hammer is usually enough to then take the little screw out by hand. And this is why I left the key in. Now we can freely turn the wheels to the left to better remove that brake caliper. To make it easier or even possible to remove the caliper, try to somehow pry the piston back into the caliper housing with a pry bar or just a large flat screwdriver before removing the caliper bolts. You might as well disconnect your brake pad wear sensor, a sensor that will turn on a light on your dash when your brakes are worn down and need to be replaced. Now, because we're not doing any work to the brakes, we can get away with removing the whole caliper with the bracket assembly attached with two 21mm bolts. It's not good to leave your brake caliper hanging on the brake line. That could cause damage to the brake line and affect your braking ability. We'll start with the top bolt and end with the bottom. With both bolts removed, you should be able to easily remove the caliper and hang it on the bungee strap. I'm just installing one of the wheel bolts so the brake rotor won't go flying when it loosens off the hub. A really cool trick that I picked up from another YouTuber: you take two hammers, hold one to the hub and smash the back of it with another hammer. You really want to wear ear and eye protection though. Chunks of the hammer can fly and hit the eye. And just like that, the brake rotor loosens from the hub. So remove the bolt and take off the rotor. I like to spray on some penetrating oil to the exposed threads to make it easier on the bolts. I'm trying to push the axle toward the vehicle so there will be enough clearance for my 12mm triple square socket. Then I'm using a 90-degree pick like this or a small screwdriver to clean out the bolt holding the wheel bearing to the knuckle. The last thing you'd want to happen is not being able to get your socket all the way into the bolt because there's a little bit of dirt in there, and then you're stripping the bolt. And because I want to be double sure, I'm also tapping the socket in with a hammer. This extension is rounded off a little, so it doesn't need to go on 100% straight. I was able to break them loose with just a 3/8 ratchet. After I fully removed it, I realized that I wasn't able to get at the top bolt, so I decided to completely take the axle out of the knuckle, and for that I had to separate the knuckle from the control arm. Again, I'm using some penetrating oil on the 3 bolts that I'm just going to zip off with my impact. These are just 60mm nuts. With a pry bar, I'm prying down the control arm to free the knuckle. Now I can pull the knuckle out and fully push out the axle. With the axle out of the way, the other bolts holding the wheel bearing are accessible and easy to remove. I can even use an impact. I'm installing my slide hammer here, but this will not work out as I thought it would. Watch for yourself what actually happens though. Just making sure I'm all the way through here. A couple pulls here. And all I got is the hub. I thought it would pull out the complete wheel bearing housing out of the knuckle. So this is where I thought I maybe shouldn't upload the video. But I decided to do so anyways. And maybe some of you watching will have a better idea on how to remove the wheel bearing from the knuckle. Please let me know in the comments. So it might not be a bad idea for everyone to check the comments for alternative ways to remove the bearing from the knuckle. Now this is what my journeyman had taught me. Drive a chisel between the bearing housing and the knuckle. I don't know if it actually works with a hammer and a chisel. I use my air hammer to get the vehicle done in a timely fashion for the customer. Once the bearing is out, you want to make sure the surface that the bearing sits on is flat and you have no bumps. Also, clean the area in the knuckle where the bearing sits with a screwdriver or so, and then blow all the dirt out. Before I'll install the bearing into the knuckle, I'll apply some thread locker onto the first, second, third, and fourth bolt and put them all in their location. Now I can just bolt the wheel bearing hub assembly to the knuckle with all the bolts already in place. You want to simply just hand start them to make sure you don't cross thread them. This is too expensive to fool around. Once you know for sure that they are all started and straight, you can get your impact out and start tightening these bolts. But don't just start tightening one all the way. You tighten one a little, then the other, and kind of go around and keep on tightening, and that way you pull the bearing even into the knuckle. Those bolts have to be tightened to 52 foot-pounds plus an additional 90 degrees, or just 45 degrees twice. By the way, I will also include all the torque specs in the description for you, with the tools you'll need for the job. Once the hub assembly is installed and torqued, get the axle started into the hub and start the bolt so the axle won't slip out again. Then pull the control arm down and push knuckle towards the vehicle and line up the 3 bolts of the ball joint with the 3 holes in the control arm. With the ball joint attached to the lower control arm, start the 3 nuts on the 3 bolts. Snug them up and then torque them down to 44 foot-pounds. To install the brake rotor, line up where the alignment bolt goes and place the rotor on the hub. Then take the alignment bolt and install it so the rotor won't move. Then you can take the brake caliper out of the bungee cord and install it on the knuckle. Start one bolt and then the second. Turn them all the way either with an impact or with a wrench and torque the caliper bracket knuckle bolts to 140 foot-pounds. Also plug in your brake pad wear sensor so you won't have a light blinking at you while driving. Make sure you hear a clicking noise when you plug it in. You shouldn't use a plier to plug it in, but if you have to, be very careful not to break the connector, just like that. And do not forget your bungee cord in there. Straighten the wheel to get ready to tighten the axle bolt. This was in the instructions with the wheel bearing. Use a torque wrench only. So let's take our torque wrench out and set it to 147 foot-pounds. Hand tighten the bolt and then torque it. As you're torquing, you'll realize that the whole thing moves and it isn't tightening. So you could have someone get in the vehicle and press the brakes. Or if you are by yourself, you can just take a screwdriver and stick it into the rotor fins and then tighten the bolt till the torque wrench clicks at 147 foot-pounds. This is a pretty skinny screwdriver. Let me just grab a bigger one. Now turn the bolt an additional 90 degrees. I'll just do 45 degrees twice, which turns out to be 90 degrees, right? Let me just install my wheel hanger here. Sorry if you don't have one, but these make installing the tire a lot easier. Install all your bolts and snug them up. Don't tighten them with an impact gun, otherwise they'll probably be too tight already. I'll torque them to spec on the ground. These bolts will have to be torqued to 89 foot-pounds. Always return your torque wrench to the lowest setting after you're done, because there's a spring in there and you don't want it to be under constant tension. It will go out of spec otherwise. When installing the center cap, make sure you line up all the grooves. And that is how you can replace the wheel bearing on your 2006 Volkswagen Jetta. Oh yeah, before I forget and show you the tools that I used to replace the wheel bearing, smash that like button and subscribe to see future how-to uploads. Have a nice day. Alright, for this job, you're going to need a couple of hammers, a punch, or I'm just going to use a air hammer with a punch adapter for my air hammer, and then that will take off the wheel bearing. We're going to use a couple of sockets. There's a 17mm socket for the lug nuts or for the wheel bolts, and then the 21mm bolt socket for the brake caliper bracket bolts, and then a 60mm socket. We're going to use it to loosen the nuts at the bottom of the ball joint, and a 27mm socket, and we're going to use that to remove the hub nut, and then also a 12mm triple square socket for the 4 rear bolts of the wheel bearing. We're also going to use some swivels, adapters, also some extensions, and also I'm going to use this T30 Torx with a hammer impact to remove the little screw that holds the disc brake. A pry bar, and then a little screwdriver, maybe a pick for other cleaning or other stuff, and then a light so I can see what I'm doing, and a 1/2-inch impact to speed things up. And I also got some penetrating oil to loosen the tough nuts, and this little helper here that holds the wheel when I take off the wheel bolts. And most important of all, you got the new wheel bearing. Also, feel free to follow me on Instagram at AutoTechWorld.